Hello, Dave, KD8NZF, here to demonstrate how to find, copy, and use form files from Winlink on a computer without Winlink installed. Then we will bring the populated forms back to a computer with Winlink and transmit a message with the form attachment via RF. Before we start, a reminder, we assume you're using a Windows PC. We also assume you are comfortable navigating folders on your drive and copying files. You will need a flash drive for this exercise. The files we copy will be very small and will fit on most any sized flash drive, but we recommend that you start with a blank flash drive to cut down on confusion finding files on the flash drive. Okay, so let's get started. We need to start by finding a form file to copy. For this exercise, you will make use of the ICS 213RR form from Winlink. Unless you have a non-standard installation of Winlink, the forms will be found in C:\RMS Express. If you're not sure where your RMS Express folder is, simply go to your icon for Winlink on the desktop and right-click it. So we'll come down here and find Winlink, right-click it, and now we're going to look for Properties. And in the Properties box, we look for Start In, and here's where you'll find your RMS Express files. So we can close this and use our file navigator to come down and find C:\RMS Express. Ooh, there you go. There it is. Double click that. And from there, what we're going to do is look for standard templates. All right, within standard templates, we're going to come down and look for ICS USAA forms, and we'll double click that. And that will open up the template forms that are on your computer. We're going to scroll down and find the ICS 213RR. And what we're looking for here is ICS 213RR initial HTML. We want to take that, copy it by right-clicking it, selecting copy, and now we're going to go down to our File Explorer and, well, here, let's just do it up here. We'll go to our USB drive. I had already put my USB drive in the computer, so it's showing up here. I'll open the USB drive, and we can either right-click and hit paste or hit Control-V, whichever you like. And now we have our 213RR form on our flash drive. So at this point, we want to eject the flash drive, and we're going to take that flash drive over to a machine that does not have Winlink on it. Now, if you don't have another machine without Winlink, it's no big deal. Just make sure you have Winlink closed, and we can use the same computer. And I'll do that. I have Winlink closed, it's not showing up, and I'll put the flash drive back in the computer. And this is the file that I copied here a few moments ago. So we're going to double click that. And that is going to bring up in our browser the ICS 213RR form. Now you'll get a little note here saying, warning you, you're running this file outside of Winlink. This is perfectly normal. That's what we're trying to do. And then a little instruction on what to do when you're done with the file. We'll cover that in detail here in a moment. So we'll say OK there. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to fill in this form, and then we're going to save the form and pull it back into Winlink. The instructions, the exercise instructions contain all the data you need here and what to be put in. I've already put it in on another form, so I'm going to stop the recording for a moment and go open up that one with it all entered. You don't need to watch me putting it in. Okay, I'm back, and I've got the populated form on the screen now, and hopefully you found that in the instructions and also have put that in. So what we need to do now is we need to save this form onto our flash drive. So down here at the bottom, there is a Save ICS 213RR Data button. I'm going to click it, and then I'm going to accept the default title here. It's fine. Now look, I was doing this in June, this video. Your date will be the current date, whatever it is at the time you're doing it. So yours will say something like ICS 213 RR 2025 dash your current date. Okay, so I'm going to say okay to accept that default name, and then I'm going to navigate over to my flash drive. Let's see here. Where is he? There he is. And on the flash drive, we're going to save this as a text file. So it's telling me there's nothing on my flash drive currently that matches that because I had not saved any text files. The file that we already saved was an HTML, and so it's not showing in this view. So we will say save on the flash drive, and now we can close this. If I ever get to where I can see it. Okay, so now that we've populated this form and we've saved it onto our flash drive, we can close this form, and I'm going to stop the recording again for a moment to get to the next part here. Let me close this. And so when we close the browser, of course, that gets us back to the desktop. So at this point, we have on our flash drive the file that we are a populated file that we want to send via RF. So we go back to our Winlink computer. We're simulating that with our normal computer, and we'll open Winlink. So I'll come over here and double click Winlink and wait a half hour for it to open. There it is. Okay. Now in Winlink, what we're going to need to do, I'm going to need to pull that below my warning here at the top. There we go. Okay, so I'm doing this because I got a bar at the top of my screen that's blocking my view. All right, so in WinLink, what we're going to do is we're going to start a new message. And in new message, we're going to select the template, and we're going to come down and find that same ICS 213. So we're looking ICS USAA forms. We can expand that. We can scroll down to 213RR resource request, and we'll double click that. That, of course, will open the blank form in a browser. Now, what we're going to do at this point is make use of this load ICS 213RR data. And we'll click it, and then we will go to our flash drive, and we'll find that text file we just saved, and I'm going to double click it. And lo and behold, it populates this form. Now, I'm going to suggest you save this form again with all the information in it, not as so that in case we make a mistake, we can come back and don't have to go through reload and everything. So we'll go down here and use the ICS 213RR data save. This one, we don't care about it being on the flash drive, so you can put it wherever you're comfortable with. We can say OK on the name. Again, it'll be your current date. And I'm going to navigate to the place that I keep stuff here. Maybe. ETO. And I'm going to put it under template files. As you can see, I was playing around with this quite a bit here. And so this will get added to the list. Now, this one is deleted or dated rather 60225, and I'll be able to recognize this file when I need it here. Okay, so we'll save that. That's just a backup. No big deal. You can name it anything you want actually at this point because it is just a backup. All right, at this point, we're going to want to submit the form. We get the usual warning, and we're back to our message. I'm going to move them a little bit towards the middle there. I'm looking at things to make sure they look right here. And one of the things I want to check is in the attachment box here, it shows the form. And in the body, it does look like the stuff that we put in. I see here's some of the bottles and I see the Mills Point incident name, and down at the bottom, I see a needed by date, and looking for the name of the uh, yeah, there it is, these finance sections. So this looks like it's pretty much got everything we were looking for on it. We can now save this in drafts, and you'll see why we're saving it in drafts here in a moment. And normally, you'd probably put it in your outbox and down the road you'd go. But we're going to do one more thing before we send this out. So I'm going to save it in drafts. Okay, save in drafts. All right. Again, I'm going to stop the recording for a minute so I can get my notes here for the next part of this demonstration. Just to give you a heads up, what we're going to do is we're going to do the same technique, but we're going to create what we'll call a boilerplate so that when you're opening files like this to put stuff in, you don't have to put in every last detail every time. You can preload some stuff in the file and have it available for use. So your file ready to go is in drafts, and I'll pause the recording here for a moment. Okay, as I said, we're going to set up a file with some boilerplate we can use anytime we need this 213 data if it's going to the same place. So in this case, we would not have to enter it for the same incident. You would need to do this, of course, if you're working on a different incident, you would need to change the boilerplate on it. At any rate, I'm going to once again go down to my File Explorer. I'm going to find the USB drive. I'm going to reopen that same blank one that we had before. And I'm going to again say OK on the warning. And now what you're going to do here is you're going to enter just the minimum things that you would like to not have to retype again. So you could enter the incident name. Let me get my note, which was Mills Point. And we could put in our resource request number. I'm showing B01009. B01009. And I'm going to just put those two in, and then I'm going to come down here to the bottom on the section, the finance section chief's name. And I was showing on that Kimberly Barton. So we'll put that in. So I'm not, you could, depending on the situation, you could be filling in more of this stuff. Just the things that you want to have come up automatically when you open the form. We only need a couple items here to demonstrate, so I'm going to let it go at that. We're going to do the same trick we did when we were making up when we were populating the form here previously. We're going to use this save button, and we're going to save this one. But I'm going to change the name now to boilerplate. And I'm going to put it on the USB drive. So I need to find him and save that. Okay. Now I'm going to close this and go back into WinLink. I'll pause the recording again and be back with you in a moment. And back again. So I closed the browser, and I am now to my desktop. I'm going to reopen WinLink Express. And I'm going to start a new message and select a template. And we're going to pick out that same ICS form, the 213RR. And it's opening up in my browser. So now we're going to go down and do that. I'm sorry, we're going to come up to the right-hand top corner here where this load ICS 213RR data is, and we're going to click on that. Let me pause for a moment here just to make sure you get a chance to see the button. And we're going to use this to navigate to the file we just created with the boilerplate in it. So I'll click this, and on my USB drive, here's that boilerplate. And lo and behold, there it is. It fills in Mills Point, the request number, and the finance section. If you were using this form, you could now go ahead and fill in what you're requesting and some of this other information. So it's just a little trick there to save you some time when you have one form that you're going to be using multiple times during an incident. And by the way, once you get this populated, then again, I suggest you go down and save it under a new name, put it wherever you want that you'll be able to find it, and then you're going to hit submit. Okay, so at this point in drafts, you have the message we created and filled all the information in. In your exercise instructions, it tells you what to do next with that message to get it sent, and you're going to send it, of course, to ETO, your clearinghouse, and to ETO back, and such as that, all spelled out in the instructions. Anyhow, I hope this helped, and I'll catch you next time.